I've already taken some heat from my party for being willing to compromise. My expectation and hope is that everybody in the coming days is going to be willing to compromise. Last point I'll make, and then I'll take questions. We are obviously running out of time. And so what I've said to the members of Congress is that you need, over the next 24 to 36 hours, to give me some sense of what your plan is to get the debt ceiling raised through whatever mechanisms they can think about, and show me a plan in terms of what you're doing for deficit and debt reduction. If they show me a serious plan, I'm ready to move, even if it requires some tough decisions on my part. And I'm hopeful that over the next couple of days we'll see this logjam this logjam broken, because the American people, I think, understandably want to see Washington do its job. All right, so with that, let me see who's on the list. We're going to start with Jake Tapper.
Thank you, Mr. President. You said that reducing the deficit will require greater sacrifice. We know we have an idea of the taxes that you'd like to see raised on corporations and on tax brackets, but you don't yet know what specifically are going to do when it comes to cutting these taxes. In the interest of transparency, leadership, and also showing the American people that we have negotiated these good deals, can you tell us one structural reform that you are willing to make to one of these entitlement programs that would have a major impact on deficit? Would you be willing to raise retirement age? Would you be willing to means test Social Security on Medicare?
We've said that we are willing to look at all those approaches. I've laid out some criteria in terms of what would be acceptable. So, for example, I've said very clearly that we should make sure that current beneficiaries, as much as possible, are not affected. But we should look at what can we do in the out years so that over time some of these programs are more sustainable. I've said that means testing on Medicare, meaning people like myself, if I'm going to be turning 50 in a week, so I'm starting to think a little bit more about Medicare eligibility. Yeah, I'm going to get my AARP cards and the discounts. But you can envision a situation where, for somebody in my position, me having to pay a little bit more on premiums or co-pays or things like that would be appropriate. And again, that could make a difference. So we've been very clear about where we're willing to go. What we're not willing to do is to restructure the program in the ways that we've seen coming out of the House over the last several months, where we would voucherize the program and you potentially have senior citizens paying $6,000 more. I view Social Security and Medicare as the most important social safety nets that we have. I think it is important for them to remain as social insurance programs that give people some certainty and reliability in their golden years. But it turns out that making some modest modifications in those entitlements can save you trillions of dollars. It's not necessary to completely revamp the program. What is necessary is to say, how do we make some modifications, including, by the way, on the provider side. I think that it's important for us to keep in mind that drug companies, for example, are still doing very well through the Medicare program. And although we have made drugs more available at a cheaper price to seniors who are in Medicare through the Affordable Care Act, there's more work to potentially be done there. So if you look at a balanced package even within the entitlement programs, it turns out that you can save trillions of dollars while maintaining the core integrity of the program.
And retirement?
I'm not going to get into specifics. As I said, Jake, everything that you mentioned are things that we have discussed. But what I'm not going to do is to ask for even, well, let me put it this way. If you're a senior citizen and a modification potentially costs you $100 or $200 a a year more, or even if it's not affecting current beneficiaries, somebody who's 40 today, 20 years from now, is going to end up having to pay a little bit more. The least I can do is to say that people who are making $1 million or more have to do something as well. And that's the kind of trade-off, that's the kind of balanced approach and shared sacrifice that I think most Americans agree needs to happen.